Welcome back already. It's now time for Game 4 of LGD vs Vici Gaming. I'm Gods and joined by LD. What do we think? LGD looking pretty good, leading 2-1.
Yeah, Vici looked good in their bounce-back game, but I look at this draft, Gods, and I worry for Vici Gaming.
They've given away the Silo Lycan, and it's scary.
Man.
I can't remember the last time I've seen this guy lose on Lycan. The last 3 or 4 of the games in the Summit Playoffs he's won, and crushed C-Deck with it 2-0.
There are some ways to deal with Lycan. One way is Faceless Void. Secret used that to great success against Cloud9 yesterday, or earlier today, I guess it was. But
yeah,
yesterday if you're in Europe or China. But either way, that's banned.
No.
You can also try and just shut him down in the laning stage, especially if he goes to the side lane. We've seen teams do like the axe aggressive tri lanes. Used to be with the old Centaur being a little bit stronger with the lower hoof stomp mana cost, that you could go just Centaur off lane and wreck him. Vici Gaming have some aggressive potential just because Jakiro's good at every stage of the game, but they have that Sunstrike follow-up. Maybe we see like a Nature's Prophet, just try and pressure him a lot early. We'll see, but if you let him get to the mid-game and you don't have very mobile heroes or extremely good lockdown, it is tough to tackle the Wolf.
It is, and like you can try offensive trialing, but then there's always the potential for like he dodges the lane and goes mid or something, because Lycan can mid against most heroes. There's not many matchups where he really struggles there, but Vici Gaming maybe going to be presenting a dual lane mid because they picked up Wisp, and typically this is a Wisp +1 that goes towards mid. Yeah,
we were talking about this in the pregame before the game started. I was wondering, would there be any Wisp tiny play or just Wisp +1? Would there be any Drow Visage?
Yep.
Vici Gaming were spamming both of those strats to great success when they first unveiled their new roster. They kind of shied away from it. Maybe they just want to develop their different options, but for such an important game, I guess they're happy to bust out the Wisp if they feel it'll work.
This is looking almost like an EG versus Secret kind of draft.
It really is.
Like the Tide Lycan, and then, well, I guess the Invoker, not really a pick that either of those teams pulls out much.
Yeah, but the Wisp, the Jakiro, everything else. Also worth mentioning, Razor's been largely ignored in this series. Beloved by those.
Yeah,
well, especially by EG.
He got last banned last game, but
he was a very big hero in the Southeast Asia finals as well.
Okay.
Invasion really did a lot of work with that, and it was largely banned towards the end of the series. But yeah, not being picked up for now.
Well, we'll see what LGD look to do with their third pick here. They're going to be worrying and considering all the possible Wisp partners. I'd say most likely the Tiny, but really you can go anywhere with this. Necrophos still in the pool if you want to go full secret mode, and LGD pick up the Visage.
Oh, do they even go for a Drow here? Howl plus Drow plus Familiars is pretty disgusting.
I think they just leave it as is with the Visage Lycan. I think Dro just... there's so much killing potential on the Vici Gaming side that can punish a Dro.
Familiars are really good at sniping the Wisp, and this is also a very good Roshan lineup. Fantastic split push for LGD. Vici are going to run their signature Tiny Wisp, but they're the Chinese team that runs it the most. They run it very well with FY on that Wisp, and we will almost certainly see them in a dual lane setup here. So doesn't look like LGD are going to try to punish this in the laning stage with this Visage pick. I mean, it used to be you see Visage in its aggressive tri-lane, but nowadays with his extremely weak magic resistance and base armor, generally we see teams just trading, going for their early farm, trying to get the level 6, and then they get aggressive. So I'm expecting a fairly passive laning stage, unless there's some like crazy skirmish over a rune, but it's that mid-game where both teams will really ramp up the aggression.
We'll have to see what LGD have in mind here. Maybe just pick up their other support for now, and then...
What do you go for here, you think?
Do
you get like a Wisp counter, like Disruptor, maybe?
I always just find Disruptor, like, every now and then he'll have a big game, and then most of the time he just is kind of useless. But Bane is the option here. Not bad. I can get a bit on board with this.
There are a lot of ways to interrupt grip on paper.
Yeah.
Ice Path, all of Invoker spells, Tiny, 2 ways. So at the same time, burst damage of the pure damage rather that comes out from his brain sap, very nice against Wisp.
Just like the laning stage, if you're going to be helping out the mid lane, just throw a few enfeebles at level 1. If you want to match the dual lane with your dual lane of your own on the LGD side, you can put Bane mid with the Lycan perhaps, or actually I don't know if you really want Lycan mid, because once Wisp gets bottled, that's going to be a lot of just tiny, constant avalanche toss harass coming out.
I wonder if they maybe even just like throw the... They could maybe even throw the Tide in there. Just very difficult for a Tiny Wisp to burst. It's generally you'd want to put him in the offlane, but perhaps they pick something else up there and just put a basically unkillable hero into that lane.
It's definitely a hero that kind of suits Yao's playstyle, the Tide, so... Possible. And for Vici Gaming, they still need most likely that Ice hero for the... Well...
So there's Centaur.
Yeah.
Centaur is a...
I didn't...
They could run that Korjuk hero.
Yeah.
It's a slight possibility.
I wonder if, like, dual lane was tiny. Like, your Invoker could dual lane with the Jakiro bottom, but that's obviously not exactly a powerful lane. It could be like some EGS offlane dual lane with the Jakiro +1.
Run the solo Invoker.
Yeah. I guess they know he's up against 1v1 Tide without supports coming to play, they're happy with that, but Invokers are very easy to gank hero, especially if he's going Exort build.
Yeah. It's a tough situation for Vici. Other laning setups they could do, although I think less likely. We could see Tiny Wisp +1, Invoker mid, and then someone else off lane, be it Jakiro or be it a third hero. Or rather their final pick. But the problem with that is then you're not really maximizing your support levels, you're not being quite as efficient, and I don't know if they have a great offlaner. They will go for the Magnus. Massive team fight in late game here from Vici Gaming. Great lockdown versus Lycan now. Craggy will be annoying if he doesn't have BKB. Your RP, your empower damage, fantastic here. But LGD still have one more pick to play with, and how are they going to lane this now? I guess it is I don't even know what they're doing. Support Jakiro, I suppose, has to be the case.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, who's actually
going offlane?
Is it a solo offlane? Is it a dual lane? Like, you can put Magnus with the Jakiro and invoke a safe lane.
Who even plays Mag? I guess, is it Super?
It's kind of Super's hero, but at the same time, it could be an Ice hero. If you're going to offlane the Magnus, you put maybe Ice.
As long as we don't see that Wex boots first offlane Invoker, man.
What's wrong with the Wex boots first Invoker? I brought it up with... I actually had a conversation with Winter about it. I was like, man, that used to be a thing. He's like, no, it sucks.
I don't know, dude. That hero needs levels. I don't think he's going to get them against this LGD draft.
That's going back to like the TI2 era where teams used to offlane.
Yeah, that was when Invoker was just a beast. So
yeah, they would actually work a bit better back then. But Batrider, that's actually a really good pick here, I think, for LGD.
Yeah, this lets them put the Tidehunter mid if they're worried about the Tiny Wisp duo, and I think we will just see the offlane in July Bat, Tide mid. No, I wouldn't say unkillable because it's a Tiny Wisp plus Sunstrike potential. And maybe if they bring in that Jakiro or Magnus rotates in with a rune, they could get a kill, but it's very tough if it's Tide mid. Could be Bat mid, but I think Bat's actually a lot more vulnerable to that combo.
Alright, well, we'll see Ice on the Magnus, which suggests he's going offlane. Super actually on the Tiny, so... They
have run Super on the Tiny before. Okay. I've actually seen... No, I don't know if they have. They've run Ice on the Tiny. I know I've seen Black on it as well.
I've seen those two. I don't think I've seen... I mean, we've seen Super play a few new heroes today. To some extent.
I'm going to do a little research here. I'm kind of curious.
Fair enough. So Black will be on the Invoker. So I definitely not an offlane Invoker, I would say, but we'll see. Support Jakiro as mentioned. So. Super
has 0 recorded games on that Tiny.
Yeah.
This will be his very first Tiny game in competitive play, and this is a guy that has played like nearly 600 competitive games. So that is a long track record. No Tinies there. Let's see. Ice. I don't think I've seen him play Magnus too often.
He would have some games, I imagine.
One game ever in Synergy League. It was a loss. He was 4-7 and 21. So it's Ice's second game on Magnus. It's the first Tiny game. Oh, and competitive, of course. Obviously, these guys played a billion times in pubs and, well, maybe not a billion, but a lot. And Super, his second game, or his first game on Tiny, Magnus, second game for Ice. Oh. Interesting.
You've introduced those two. We'll introduce the rest of each game. We'll have Fenrir on the Wisp. We'll have Jakiro being played by FY and Black on the Invoker. For the Dire side, it will be Team LGD. They're up 2-1 in July on the offlane Batrider. Yao on the Tide, who will be going mid. Boots first, actually, for him. Faith on the Bane. Boots first for him as well. Visage being played by Mamaya and Sylar on the safe lane farming Lycan.
And July is going to make his way in, try to ward off some camps early. He'll get a nice little observer ward down here. Black did spot out that Firefly, though, so he'll know it's warded. He pings a little bit farther north, but he should have a rough idea of where this one is. And, well, as you've mentioned, teams have been buying a lot less sentries, but this time around, yeah, there's actually no gold for them. Wisp is going to rush the bottle, not slow it down for sentries.
Yeah. At the same time, he didn't block the pull camp, which maybe... I guess he's against the Invoker, but it isn't a Jakiro down here as well, so... Bat would love to get his hands on this bottom room, but it looks like FY is going to be just camping on top of it.
Yeah, with Liquid Fire, Harass, in July... Gonna have a real... Oh, hold that thought. Top lane. Ice.
He's poking and prodding. Maybe looking
for...
Oh
no, there's a double damage rune. This could be a little bit scary. Nightmare skilled up, but he's just gonna skewer away.
Yep. Should be okay. Faith has boots, but as does Ice.
Offlane Magnus is just so difficult, though.
And he's already used to skewer, so this makes life even harder. He's gonna lose... Like, he started blocking kind of late, whereas Sylar's already been blocking his way. Blocks in the offlane are really important. And Sylar's going to win this one.
Yeah, he'll have the skewer ready in 8 seconds. If they manage to sleep him mid-skewer or something like that, he's going to be really sad, though. They don't really have the best follow-up to the sleep. It's more if they manage to whittle him down and then go for a kill. I don't think they'll be able to just kill him from full health.
Well, one creep gets loose. Ice says, yes, I get myself some experience.
Do want to point out in the meantime that in July managed to pull the creep waves all the way around, so he's... halfway to level 2. He also dropped a Sentry Ward when he did that with Firefly.
Oh, nice.
So he's just being a pest here in the offlane more than anything.
That pull block is pretty nice. So it'll help him just... Well, if the lane ever does push out. Right now it's looking like it could just be pretty static.
Look at Ice. He's just having such a sad time right now. He wants to skewer Faith into the tower, but yeah, even then Faith has 4 base armor.
Onto a cliff. Like if you could skewer him right above and get him stuck on there, that'd be fantastic.
That's true.
And that's where Faith is being somewhat careful. Like when they were contesting the top rune, he was making sure never to position himself between Ice and a bad cliff.
So they do run the Tide Med, which I think is the right choice here, just for all the reasons mentioned. The most difficult here to kill early with the point in Kraken Shell out of anyone on LGD.
It's lurking around mid Ice, but he's about to get scattered.
Hello, Faith. There's your skewer! Oh, just short.
Yeah. Close. Nightmare's being used. The skewer's on cooldown now.
But what's the follow-up? Grave Chill? So, oh, maybe it's enough.
Pretty close.
Oh, with Howl damage, it might well be. Ice is going for a cute play, and it will not pay off at all.
That was nice.
And that's an offlane Magnus, not a hero who has an easy time to begin with. Yep. At the same time, there's 5 sticky napalm charges on FY, but that's Firefly about halfway done.
Tide going to get the top rune, Bat gets the bottom bounty rune. This is ideal, because Tide can make use of this Tide should they try and be too aggressive or go on him. And also, you're denying runes from the Wisp. So, I mean, Super having just not played Tiny before, like, it's one of those like Tiny Wisp things. You need to play it to know kind of how aggressive you can be, how much the Wisp can heal you up. Like, if you haven't partnered with a Wisp before, it's kind of hard to adjust to it.
Yeah, they also have the Exhort Invoker, so this is really a 3-man operation where they have to communicate with Black. I mean, not that it's that difficult, you just kind of paint it out or yell, like, go, whatever you need to say, but it is a delicate dance with these 3, and they need to find some relatively early kills, I would say. Given that Ice is going to be a total non-factor, Bat will get a fairly timely blink just because he's Bat. The jungle will be stacked for him, as they're already doing now. And you're going to walk into the mid-game with a Tide Hunter, so there will be team fights, and if Tiny Wisp don't get anything done, well, it falls on the Magnus, and Ice is just getting nothing out of this off lane.
In July on the bottom lane hits level 3 already, so he's doing
Avalanche, man,
well.
they're going to just toss him up, never mind.
This is, just Avalanche tosses should just go flying quite frequently. Fenrir can heal him back up with the bottle, although getting these 4-minute runes is hard. LGD so far have been controlling them a lot better. They can send the Lycan walls with Lycan not even leaving the lane, and then the supports can go top lane, Batrider goes to the bottom rune, so it's a lot easier for LGD to control the runes, at least that's the way it's looked so far.
The one piece of good news for Ice is even though he died, he's only level 1, so he didn't really give them any experience. Bane's still level 1, your Visage, level 3, doing pretty well. But there won't be an early Fiend script at least.
Yeah.
They're going to look to push top here though. No Shockwave even to draw creep aggro, that's a bit of an issue.
Yeah, that's problematic, and I guess he may get level 2 off a creep dying here.
It's okay, that's what Jakiro's for.
FY shows up Dual Breath, Liquid Fire. Wisp actually got a rune this time around, and they're getting aggressive on mid Sunstrike toss. Decent damage there. I'm not sure if the Sunstrike actually landed.
At the same time, bottom lane, FY being dove behind the tower. He'll end up going down to your Visage, and they do get that Tide Hunter takedown. I would say overall still very good for Vici getting that kill, especially on a solo mid-tide versus just a support. tower bottoms or top still very healthy. The Jakiro TP's in to the tier 1, but 3 heroes trapped between. Just gonna wait for this next wave.
TP.
Yeah, it is nighttime, but it's more. It was just I wondered if they would run back into him. Not the case though.
Draws creep aggro, and this tier 1 tower will be just fine.
This does leave Black alone bottom though, and the issue with that is you're just 1v1 against a Bat Rider. He does have a decent start, but he wants to rush this Midas, so he doesn't have a ton of mobility. There's some slight kill potential here for in July if he can get like that level 3 Firefly out.
For LGD, Yao can have a bit of breathing room at mid because the bottle is gone back to base. There's no mana for super, not even much HP for him. So he's going to be very careful here on the tide, on the Tiny as far as any kind of aggression coming out.
So Ice, the huge beneficiary of all that is he gets level 4. He was so far behind the bat, but now he's caught right up.
That just came from nowhere, so...
Yeah, they tried to push a little bit early, to be honest. I think they slightly underestimated how willing Vici were to rotate.
Yeah, the Jakiro showing up was definitely the surprise factor, so... LGD is going to maybe try and secure the 6-minute rune, go from there. This Wisp getting these runes can be really problematic for them. That's what gives Tide a really rough time in this mid lane, so...
Yeah, Bat Rider can generally at least go for these bottom runes, but not when they're sending the 3 heroes there. And Ice will just wait towards top. Ravage is ready. I don't think he can solo kill Ice. He'll need a +1 for this. There's your skewer up onto the cliff. That's my rune, baby. Big plays for Ice.
He's stuck. He needs a TP scroll, and I think it's coming out, yeah.
You got to admire just the... Oh, mid lane. They're going in now looking for a Sunstrike Avalanche. Off the mark by Super.
That was
Faith with the fancy footwork. But yeah, you got to admire Ice. It's like, so what if I died once going for that skewer play? I'm just going to go for it again anyway.
Yeah, so TP arrives, but yeah, damage has been done. He's been trapped here for a while, and he should have been killing this neutral camp early. I don't know why he wasn't attacking it. They can't actually reach him. It's going to be fine.
Well, and good news for LGD, though. MMY is getting a lot of experience. He's already level 5 and change. Sylar, level 6. Building towards the Vlads quickly at the same time. We're going to see a rotation here from LGD. They want to punish Ice. Get some revenge for that skewer up the hill. And I don't think there will be any kind of trade. Vici, we're searching the jungle. Ice going to skewer to the right. He knows what's coming his way, and he is going to retreat out. Oh, he just got wind of it because his team went into the jungle, saw nothing, and I think they just said, these supports have been gone too long. You need to eject.
Yeah.
And he ejected immediately.
And when the creeps got the Bane, it's like, okay, there's more, there's backup. They probably saw the Lycan was level 6, so they'll get out of there scot-free. And on the Radiant side, Vici Gaming have been stacking neutrals. They've got a decent amount of farm that's waiting for Tiny, so
yeah,
they're looking pretty good themselves. Much better as far as the stacking situation goes. And this Bat Rider hasn't had too many stacks to play around with and farm for himself.
Yeah, he's been trying to hang out bottom, slow down Black, try to punish FY's absence a bit, but he's had minimal success. Black, 54 CS in 7 minutes. That's the one thing I'll say about his Quas Exhort Invoker is he just does not miss creeps. I mean, it's what Black's known for, and with Invoker, getting that really fast Midas is a big deal. Your Necro Book comes sooner, and with that, your impact on the game comes much earlier. So he'll look for this early tower, and if he gets that, he'll basically have 2/3 of the Necro Book. At the same time, though, LGD are dire with a Lycan, already the Vlad's out at 8 minutes. And the Visage already has his familiars, so you got to be constantly vigilant about Roche sneaks.
I feel like LGD's lineup takes some time to come online, like the Ravage, the familiars, like
the Blink Dagger on bad, the Bane Grip.
Until then, for Vici Gaming, like Wisp Tiny's really strong in the laning stage. Like they have actually really strong early game presence. They will maybe find themselves in a bit of a tough spot mid lane. Yao has
There's
Ravage
a relocate
here.
Though. They could potentially get him out. Tether, relocate, not gonna happen. They'll lose Super. Fenrir. Wow. Didn't even cast the relocate, actually. Just tethered in.
Yeah, I think I was just thinking...
Sunstrike. Gets that Bane. Got him.
Alright. Can he get a tier 1 tower bottom? That would be the really big accomplishment. Looks like Black should be fine. Gets the last hit even, so... All of a sudden, he's got 1800 gold and Midas, and then he's up to 2k plus gold. So mid tier 1, this is the trade. Lycan would love to get his hands on this one with the Vlads, but not an easy push into the Jakiro.
And surprisingly, the team with the Lycan, although they're very close to taking that tower, couldn't quite convert.
Yeah.
As the Invoker comes out on top, as you mentioned, up to 2200 gold gods. So early Necro Book likely inbound for Black, and that will be a nuisance. Vici Gaming can match the split push of LGD, I would say. With the Tiny Wisp, with the Invoker Necro, and the Jakiro, just occasional liquid fires tossed out here and there. They They will be able to take towers quickly. It's the main thing for me is just not giving up a freebie Roshan.
Yeah.
If they're going to give it up, they got to at least get something. A tower, a kill or two, some sort of objective to
me, it's kind of inevitable that at some point LGD will probably get Roshan, and it's going to be uncontested. But I think it's Vici Gaming have to make sure they're getting a trade in towers or farm elsewhere in the map.
My MMY Midas Visage. They want a super stack Visage.
That is, that's really.
That's a pretty fast support Midas, but
it's going to get.
He just does so much with the Ags. Like normally, normally the Visage Ags is just a Midas for heroes. You just convert heroes into gold, just slay them.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I like it.
I don't know how much. I haven't seen this before, so I'm not sure how much it delays your eggs, but it's got to be a decent amount.
Yeah, it means when you get it, or just I guess you get the experience benefit of this.
That's true. You get the level 2 familiars quicker.
They're also probably looking at this and being like, our late game's pretty damn good. Like, you're up against the Wisp Tiny, but you've got so much pick-off potential, and the big late game utility heroes, like Batrider and Tide in an ultra late game scenario, are going to do a lot compared to, I would say, like a Jakiro. And even like the Wisp to some extent, like relocate saves are nice.
Even Magnus, I mean, that hero can do a ton, but it's just going to be hard to get great RPs this game. You're up against Ravage. Oh, Ice Path going to catch out Sylar. They have a Sunstrike here. It will connect. Now he's trying to transform. Follow-up, not quite sufficient. Vici Gaming ran the other way. They won't be able to catch him out. Sylar scooting to freedom, but waiting there is Ice, RP in your face. Go to bed, Wolf. He gets put back in the kennel. Big pick-off there for Vici. He almost made it out, though. It was close.
Saw the relocate coming, ran the right direction, but it wasn't really a good way out. Without a TP scroll, you can really have an actual escape plan.
But yeah, I do feel like it's a tough Magnus game. Bane, lots of ways to interrupt you, even if you get that BKB. Batrider's very annoying to play against as a Magnus. Familiars to scout you out, and of course the Tidehunter to counter-initiate. Just
the ease of execution of RP compared to Tide Ravage.
Yeah.
Ravage is so forgiving with the placement, whereas RP has to be perfect with your blink.
Well, how are you feeling overall about this game, Gods, for both teams? 1,500 gold lead for Vici, 1,500 experience lead for LGD.
I think Vici have to be in the lead at this stage of the game, because I think LGD's mid game is much more potent. They've already smoked into Roshan. They're already looking for this Aegis, and I feel like LGD, once they have Mech Blink on Tide, they have Batrider with Blink 4 stuff, Lycan with his Necrobook or BKB, like, they're just so powerful. Because Visage is also going to be massive, so I think if Vici Gaming were even right now on, like, net worth, it would be a big concern. And LGD's lineup is just so easy to execute in some ways. Like, I don't feel like Ravager said, unforgiving, Batrider just needs to lasso heroes in.
Even the way they push is just, like, throw minions at towers and howl. I mean, well, let's see if they get this Roshan, though. There's a Macro Pyre thrown into the pit. This is proving to be quite an annoyance for Sylar. Yao's happy to tank it up. The Rosh is low. Vici Gaming get cold feet. They will back out, but Injuly's on the hunt. He's got a Blink Dagger, looking for that Wisp. Avalanche is there. Super going to toss him up. Now he gets gripped. Defensive relocate is used, and will get Super out. Yao, just a split-second hesitation on that Ravage, and, well, they get out, but they will be losing their Wisp.
Are they going to come back into fight this one?
No way.
No.
Nah.
None for Ravage, yeah.
He wants to tether out, though.
Yeah, gets it. Okay.
No bottle charges.
Oh, Visage follows him with it. Was that even a soul assumption? I think it was
just
that was
a right click. Medallion auto attack, I think.
He had a lot of HP still, like, for a right click at least. Like, he was 100 HP.
That is your 1 base armor Wisp in action.
With Medallion as well. So
and FY meanwhile? Uh-oh. Oh, no. This is costly.
Yep. Doesn't have to use Lasso, I don't think. It's just a solo Jakiro, and FY, you ain't going anywhere, son.
They don't ever relocate to help him. The Magnus Blink Dagger was picked up, but Ice has to walk back to base to get it. They'll lose their Jakiro as well.
Visage got the tower money, by
the real casualty, is that tower. Visage already the most farmed hero on the Dire, halfway to his Aghanim Scepter at 13 minutes with a Midas. MMY already quickly becoming the one-position hero for his team.
Yeah, who's the real carry? This is like, AUI plays like that 2-position Visage, but this is some true 1-position Visage play coming out from MMY. He's going to teach AUI a thing or two.
Tough game. I mean,
Visage is scary with farm. Like, the Ag, it doesn't stop at the Ag Scepter. The
AC
afterwards
the
is massive.
Shivas, just
there's so many good items you can get on this hero that it's really scary.
Your Rod of Atos.
Atos is great against Tiny. This is a pretty great game to have a farming Visage.
I mean, if he wants, he could even try to work in a Necro Book there for the double Necro Book with the Lycan, you know? I doubt. By the time he could get it, it's probably not that valuable. Mid lane, though, we're going to have a bit of a skirmish. The Super drops very low.
Yeah.
almost finished off here. They did not even use grip for that. Bane did not have
Bane
mana.
was low mana. If he had a brain sap even, I think that's a kill.
Tower. Oh, denied too.
So they get the tier 1 top, which went to the Lycan, and what's Lycan building here?
LGD looking pretty good here, gods. And game number 4, leading 2-1. They just need one more win to punch their ticket to the Summit 2 land finals. Vici are clinging on for dear life.
I really like this LGD draft, like the Lycan Visage, and then that last pick Batrider just rounded off their draft so well. The Tide gives them that scary team fight, but you don't really want to start a fight off with a Tide Ravage all the time. Having the option to find pickups with the Batrider just gives them that flexibility.
It was Vici who banned the Ogre, right?
I
believe so.
Ooh, they're on the Radiant side. That's a good question.
I think they banned Ogre Brew.
It was the team who had second pick who banned the Ogres. So who had first?
Wrap
pick
around mid lane. I think it was a Tide first pick.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I'm a little surprised that they didn't ban the Lycan, to be honest. Sylar's Lycan has been a beast. Most teams, as you mentioned, I think in the cast earlier with Winter, have been respect banning it, and hey, it's a dire Lycan to boot.
When they 2-0'd them in the winner bracket final, it was 2 Lycan bans the first stage.
Yeah, to be fair, LGD has been doing well with other heroes, obviously, as they lead 2-1, but I just haven't felt Ogre as a big problem hero in this series at all. Like, he's been fine. There was a few games where he had nice multicast, but it wasn't like game-changing multicast. It's like, oh, hey, we're already winning a fight, and now we just get an explosive victory.
And even games where he found the Ag Scepter, but it got to that point because the other, they lost the game for other reasons, so.
Yeah. So, I don't mind an Ogre ban, but first stage ban. Slightly surprising. Well, now they got to deal with the big bad wolf, who is just making his Visage even scarier at this point. He's slightly behind on the net worth, but still close to his Lycan. And relocate bottom. They're going to look to contest this one. They jump onto Sylar here, caught out. Avatos kills him once, but can they kill him twice? RP from Ice Ice Ice, not that great. Catches 2, but I don't know if it's enough follow-up. Deafening Blast used by Black on the run. Might have to buy back to turn this fight. Just too much easy damage for LGD. They'll run down the
triple kill from
not
MMY.
The Visage, though. The Visage will get the run down there.
Ag Scepter, 500 gold on top of that.
Oh, jeez.
And then in July's 4 stuff, like, all their core items are coming up, and they're winning items.
That was without Ravage. Yao was top.
He TP'd top to defend the tier 2 push.
Ease of execution. Just so much better for LGD.
Yeah, even without a Ravage, it's just like, okay, you threw too many spells on our Lycan with Aegis, and that's just, I mean, the main thing they threw was the Avalanche the stun toss combo, but nope, Tiny caught out, Lasso to start things off, and Bane, no grip, not even going to be needed though.
Yeesh.
This is a big worry for Vici Gaming.
Oh, Vici Sunstrike! Got him! Ooh, Black has been on point with these, and
he plays a really good Invoker.
It's one of the, like, a lot of times, like, you missed the Sunstrike, no big deal, but I feel like they need these kills just to, like, clean on for life in this game.
Yeah. So, I mean, at the same time, I feel like as good as like his Invoker is, like, the fact you're first to picking Invoker, like, that's definitely, I don't think the hero is justified in being picked up in the first 2 slots.
I definitely feel it was at one point, like Starladder Season 9, when that Centaur pick was just so damn strong with it, but yeah, it seems, especially this Quas Exhort Invoker, seems a lot more situational. He requires a lot of space and time to come online.
We'll see if Vici Gaming have what it takes to stall this game out, deal with these really farm Lycan Visage duo.
And it's not just that, it's what you said, the backbone of the Batrider Tide.
And those 2 heroes are farmed. Like, there's a mech already. Like, they both have 6k net worth. They're up there. That's pretty much similar level of farm to the Tiny, so.
Force Staff is now complete on the Batrider. If it goes really late, Batrider gets a BKB, and what are you going to do? RP when he goes in for the lasso? Maybe you can relocate, save somebody, but that's just... It's just tough for Wisp because there's a Tide in the game. And Yao hasn't even had, like, the perfect Ravage counter initiations, but when you've got 2 Ravages, which at some point he'll look for, then you can just be a lot more free and liberal with your application of them.
And they're looking to cripple Vici Gaming. They picked up a gem, and In July is going to carry that one around. Look to just deward the map using this gem and just prevent any kind of shenanigans from Vici Gaming. So, just solid
looking
all
for
around
Ice
play.
Ice Ice. Uh-oh. Oh, Shockwave canceled his blink.
He's really far pushed up, and he's completely alone. I think he's just trying to be like, I'm not really alone. Maybe I've got 4 heroes behind me kind of tactics.
But they've got a ward. Yeah, actually, they have a ward here. They don't see anyone, so they're more likely to think he has heroes behind him. And there's always the Tiny Wisp, so. I think they were going to go, though. That Shockwave just hit the bat, and his blink got canceled. Well, Tiny's finally got his club. But it's still just the level 1 ult. He can't even fully hold this one. looks so cute. They're going to go in top. Nope. Ice, 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 creating that space for the team.
Yeah, but he's just put a lot of pressure on this top lane, and he's been in such a dangerous position too. He probably could have died, but LGD are just a little bit antsy, and also just, like, they know they're ahead. They don't want to throw away this lead.
They're still looking, though. Deathfly going to TP out. He's going to force a Ravage. No, maybe not. Flame Break was there, and July able to cancel it. Doesn't force a thing. Not even a lasso.
This is going to be probably just to push all the way down the top lane. Sylar can stay mid, maybe meet up with his team partway there, and I think they should be going for this tier 2 tower. Maybe just feeling like they can sit back and out-farm their opponents, but...
You know, my other... Oh, Ice, Ice, Ice going in hot mid. Could he get this kill on Sylar? RP whiffed! Woo. Oh, no. Sylar didn't even have his ult up. He just walked away. Ice, Ice, Ice was...
They didn't even see it coming. There was no wards or anything. That was just
impatience from Ice, Ice, Ice. I think he thought he was going to walk back in, but the thing is with the new Lycan ult, you don't have to rush it, because if he tries to transform, he's standing still for a second, so you'd get him anyway. And I think they have the burst to kill him in ult form. But.
And now with RP on cooldown, they're going to look to take objectives. T2 tower.
Can they go high ground off of this? They've got Howl, they've got Familiars.
He's pretending to be Naga Siren.
Well, very smart, but I don't know if it matters.
Yeah, they've got a big enough creep wave. They can go high ground with this if they want. They don't have Aegis. It's not the best timing for them. Also, Necrobook's expiring. They can do some damage. I don't see any way they get Raxus off this. They're probably not even getting this tier 3 tower. Familiars with Howl, they hurt a little bit, but...
Lasso's there, though. If they find pickoffs, they could. Where's that relocate? Will break the lasso.
Oh, he tossed his wisp in! What are you doing?
Super, please!
Oh! He must have clicked the toss, like, when he was lassoed in to try and toss an enemy hero to do some damage.
And then it just, it goes off after.
Oh, man.
Still, it's only the wisp. I mean, it's not great, but... They saved the tiny.
The push was not happening anyway, so from that point of view, LGD were just like, yeah, we'll get a pick off and then pushes over. I guess if they killed Tiny, maybe they try and siege the high ground a little more, but...
Yeah, that Tiny would not have had buyback either, so that could have been an opportunity.
So, next Roshan is, whoa, long respawn, as long as it gets. That's good news for Vici Gaming, at least.
Well, LGD still feels like their game right now. Dire side, have the map control. They've got the AC coming fairly soon for the Visage. I mean, think about that. He's almost he's almost more farmed than everybody on Vici Gaming, including the enemy 1 position Invoker. That is just disgusting.
Yeah, the Invoker with him. I mean, sure, MMY has one himself, but like your safe lane free farm Invoker with Midas.
And the level 3 ult's going to come really early this game, too. I just feel like LGD will be at a point in this game where if they get to the base, you lose a lane of Rax.
Yeah.
Maybe you get that 3, 4, 5 hero kill if you have perfect RP and can turn the game, but I think Vici Gaming almost have to be thinking now in terms of, like, how do we get trades when we lose Rax instead of if we lose Rax? It just seems almost inevitable that LGD will claim them.
These fights have been going on without Yao's Blink Dagger, and he has enough money for that now after this top lane farm, so things are going to go from bad to worse fairly soon.
Yeah, and again, there's still Lycan in this game. He hasn't really been a huge impact yet, just howling for the Visage, but...
Not been huge impact, hasn't had crazy farm, but... I mean, well, he's the top farmer, but it's not like he's been as snowbally as the game early to against Newbie was just, like, Lycan controlling the pace of the game.
Just the big bad wolf incarnate, just running around killing everyone.
Oh, we'll see where LGD go from here. Wait for Roshan, it's kind of the safe plane. It's going to be respawning any second now, so... They should have a pretty good knowledge of the timer and know that it will be coming up in the next 10 seconds.
Yeah, that next Rosh, I don't really see Vici contesting it.
No way. Even with a Mag. Mag would have to hit a 4 or 5 hero
But that's just never going to happen, right? Because LGD will never group. They don't need to. Put Familiars, Wolves in the pit. You don't even have to put the Visage in there.
Yeah. Tide as well as Batrider will be split apart, looking for those either initiations or just counter initiations onto stuff like the RP.
And not to mention, you don't even need the Familiars in there. Sylar can just solo.
Yeah, will poke his head in. So they will put Tide in the pit, but no way Batrider should go in there as well.
Ice Ice not in position. They just have to give this up, and the thing is, they're not really getting a trade. All you can do now is push in the lanes and just try and stall that next push.
And that's where Familiars are actually keeping these lanes pushed out. We can see top lane where Jakiro as well as a couple other Vici Gaming heroes are lurking around. This is not going to be any real pressure on the lane as Familiars just burst it down and
go for some Familiar snipes. Maybe they can force out that resummon at least.
Yeah, I guess yeah, he's going to resummon as soon as he sees the Invoker Forge Spirits.
Yeah, that's one thing worth mentioning. If this goes really late, Visage would love to get a refresher just so he can always have that secondary resummon ready if he needs it. So there's a lot of room for MMY to farm. I mean, I'm thinking big here, gods. I want to see my first 7-slotted Visage, you know? It could happen.
That's seventh slot refresher.
Yeah, why the hell not, dude? Although not to mention the Necro Bulk, I feel like.
I want to see a Mjolnir on the Visage. I feel like that'd be a good item.
That would be a really good item. I'm getting
AC.
clowny in the interest of entertainment here, but they will go on top lane, perhaps. Lasso, you just let him go, I think. Black turns around for a second. He's got to be careful though. Like Dagger is ready.
Familiar some mismoves. Yeah, that like it matters.
Yeah.
AC complete, by the way. 25 minutes AC Ags on MMY.
This next push is just going to be so damn scary. And I don't think... I think they have to... if you lose this next push, you lose 2-3 lanes of Rex. No tier 2s.
Yeah, if you try and engage and lose the fight, you're losing multiple lanes. So
yeah, otherwise maybe they'll just have Mercy and just take one lane and back off.
You just have to try and stall and, like... Yeah. If you engage, you have to make sure you win the fight.
Uh-oh, ice, ice, ice. No, never mind. He's got the ward. And July's just D-warning.
Well, actually, no, they're going mid lane, and the attempted trade is kind of happening in bottom lane. Super maybe thinking get a tier 2 tower, which is... And they just get your team some money, maybe give someone some extra buyback gold or something like that.
Do you just tactically sack this lane of Rax? Because I don't know if you can fight.
Kind of, yeah. I don't know how you engage into this. Familiar with how they're going to try... Well, I think you just ignore Lycan. Don't over-engage onto this one. LGD.
Do not RP that. Yeah. Just... Oh, Yule's used there. It's going to set up a nice path from FY. Bit of miscommunication, though. Super is getting grip caught out. They're going to try to Ravage to cancel this relocate. It's an air ball from Yao again. He's a bit late. The old man looking slow on the reflexes. No chunk in the Wisp. I don't know if that's enough damage. Ice with the big RP. They managed to bring down 3-4 heroes. It's enough in the end. Everyone survives aside from your Invoker. They've done it. By golly. They've found the opening. Now the Ice Path onto Sylar. Skewer him, but not enough.
The toss cancelled the skewer.
Oh, no. They could have pushed him into tower. Maybe
Super's
gotten that kill, too.
Yeah.
Super's tiny, not delivering this game.
A couple just, I mean, so much of it's just like a bit of like awkwardness and bad luck, but...
Even, well, and like there was a little miscommunication at the start of the fight where FY Yules to hero right as they were getting avalanche, so... Yao could have just won them that fight. If he Ravages mid-relocate, then they just... That's GG, I think.
LGD, honestly, that was just... LGD got, I don't know, they just should have focused the racks, ignore the heroes, and force Vici Gaming to engage on you. Instead, they went under the tier 4 towers, missed the Ravage, then went for a lasso on the Invoker, and, like, it was just bad calls from LGD there.
That huge RP from Ice as well. Like you said, they didn't have to clump up that way either.
Yeah, they should have just kept sieging the racks, using the Lycan plus Visage Familiars, and Vici Gaming can't do anything about it. They're not going to use an RP to get rid of an Aegis on the Lycan, so...
Well, Tony with that will pick up his Yasha. He's now got a little more gold in the piggy bank. In fact, completed AC inbound for Super. Sure, maybe his execution fights has been slightly lacking, but or in some cases quite lacking. But hey, nonetheless, dude, he's going to be a big tiny with Empower and a Wisp behind him. That is... Yeah. It's the kind of thing that if you don't focus him and they get a good RP, then he just ruins your team. So... At the same time, will there be another Miracle RP? I still feel they need at least 1 or 2 more to make this an even game.
And the late game is still just so rough for Vici Gaming. Going up against Refresher Tide, Batrider with a BKB, Lycan's working on a harder terrace. This is one of these fantastic sieging items. Like, sure, you can get the magic immunity of a BKB, but just the raw HP plus HP regen Heart gives you helps so much for sieging bases.
Yeah, it also helps against just instant lockdown from like the eventual Hex of the Invoker, which we already see Black working towards.
Yeah.
Or just that Blink RP.
So, from here, LGD may just play a farming game until they get the next Aegis, which will be cheese as well.
FY getting really aggressive here top lane.
Lycan gonna pop his ultimate.
Okay, he thinks FY's alone. He's going to go for this. Ice is there, but...
He's more or less right.
Uh-oh, Yule's used on the Necro minion. He'll get cornered. Now trying for the TP out. That ain't going to happen.
Oh, push to the low ground, but they still get the kill with the Lycan Wolf. So Ice gets out,
but that's a tier 2.
Okay, not bad.
Oh, is it? Ravage is ready. They know that Wisp is lurking, and they're just going to let it go. Do they have to come back.
Yeah.
They can't push this.
There is Ravage, though, and I'd love to find the Wisp
here.
Oh,
Fenrir not in the best position. He's way too close to the Tiny. This could end very poorly. They'll lose him off the bat. Now the Familiars can go to work on Super. 1 stun, 2 stun, 3 stun. They're slowly TPing. July TP to the base.
Yeah, Yeah.
And now he's trying to work his way in. He's too late.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, my.
That beat to Fountain, I think,
that
or
was
something.
Oh, MMY might even go down here top lane. There's your skewer from Ice Ice Ice. Pushing back in that super stacked Visage. This is a big bounty to give up if he goes down. MMY, you're not a support, my friend. You can't be giving up these kills. Series of miscues now for LGD. That's got to be like a 2,000 gold swing or close to it. Oh, 1,500. There you go.
So 1 kill, yeah. A lot of that going to the Tiny as well. So Tiny sitting pretty. Suddenly has 2.5k gold. He's just bought his Assault Crest a minute ago, it feels like, and already catching up. So LGD have to be a bit careful. Calm down. Definitely waiting for the Aegis and Cheese, but during that time they need to just play safer. Go for pickoffs maybe as 5 with the Batrider Lasso, but they don't want to do anything too risky.
I don't know, man. It seems like LGD are slipping a bit, though. On paper, I would still slightly favor LGD, but I mean, it is a tiny Wisp late game with a Magnus backing it up. You can't just write that off, no matter how good the enemy lineup looks.
Yep.
And they're really starting to just compound their errors. Mid lane now. They'll catch out Sylar. If he stops to transform this Macro Pyre, I'll be sad, but they forced that from that.
The hard just makes him so hard to bring down. Tiny going to buy a Manta style, so I think the one thing Vici Gaming have to prepare for is going to be that next Roshan.
Uh-oh. Big fight coming.
Yeah, Al gets the instant gush.
And the same time in the Radiant, or the Dire jungle, they're going to jump in with Super. Avalanche is there. He goes on to Faith. Doesn't manage to finish him off. Has that Fiend's Grip to turn this fight on Super, perhaps. Got to be careful. Ice 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 being controlled here. Yao has no Ravage, though. Remember, he blew it earlier. Without the Ravage, can they actually fight effectively? Sylar, so low. He's going to go down to that one last right-click and gets the Wolf. Wolf out of the picture. Familiar's doing a decent amount of work, but they'll club MMY. The Cleave doing enough here. 3 dead. Boy, my kingdom for a Ravage now if I'm LGD. Not having that just cost them a gargantuan fight. This game begins to slip away from them now.
They controlled that Lycan just so damn well in that fight.
Maybe he does need a... I mean, the heart, great, but maybe he needs the BKB too.
Yeah. And, well, Tiny just doing a great job helping cleave down Familiars and stuff. Tiny actually not bad against Familiars with the AoE damage, and Vici Gaming going high ground. They're going to force a Lycan buyback.
The thing is, Ravage is up now, but Lycan... Actually, no, he's got the level 3 ult, so yeah, I think you back here.
Well,
Still, that's a big swing. Forcing out that Lycan buyback. Also, killing the Visage twice now in a row has really pushed him down a few notches. And I guess, guys, it's time to look at item progression now. Our Radiant team is really piling up those big pickups.
yeah. It's adding up. Just even like someone like Fenrir having a Ghost Scepter saved his life from the Lycan in that fight, it looked like. FY's Yule Scepter are now working towards an Ags as well. And Sheepstick, Invoker, he's got the lockdown. This just helps out that little bit more of finding those pickoffs.
Yeah, very big item here. You can get that instant sheep when the Tidehunter jumps in and just ignore him from there. Potentially cancel the Batrider initiation if he doesn't BKB first. Also, maybe catch out the Lycan who doesn't have a BKB before he can transform. Always a useful item on Invoker, and they have a ton of chain stun to follow that up with the Cold Snap, the Deafening Blast, the Tornado, all kinds of burst damage.
We'll see how things pan out.
But that was a team fight for LGD without Ravage, so if you're Vici, you still have to approach these engagements very cautiously.
For LGD, like, they've Ravage, Fiend's Grip, like these spells, if you're getting them off in a fight, you're going to have a pretty good time. So.
Oh, they also bought back on the Bane. I don't know if you mentioned that.
No.
But not the biggest deal. Just going to hurt Faith a little bit here.
He's working on a BKB, which could be nice as far as making sure he gets those Fiend's Grips off with just an RP to cancel it, which you don't really want to be waiting for a Fiend's Grip before you RP.
Sunstrike in the pit. This is going to be not a max respawn, Roche, but close to it. 10 minutes total, so 1 minute short of the max, and Super's going to walk in just after the Sunstrike to scout. That's a very dangerous place to be walking in. He does have the relocate out, but you got to worry about that Bat Lasso and then the Ravage follow-up to cancel your relocate. So they'll scout it, they won't see anything, they'll back off. And now it's just going to be that delicate dance for the next Roche.
Yeah, and Vici Gaming remaining grouped up towards this middle lane. They've got a number of buybacks here available. Most of their core heroes with buyback. Just Wisp, Jakiro, the 2 supports without.
Man, Super is really beefy right now.
Yeah, he's so farmed, and having buyback on top of these items, that's massive.
I would really love a Butterfly for him this game. You're up against the Mass Familiars as well as the Lycan, and they have no MKBs. MMY's not going for one. He gets a point boost. We might have a skirmish here in the river, though. Sylar spotted out, and Black just runs away. Okay, no action.
Going to the Roshan pit here. Is he actually going to go for this one? This is some risky stuff. He kills the forward spirit, and yeah, he's going to go for this one. He sees 2 heroes top, but guess what?
I think you just let them have this, maybe. Vici Gaming going to push top and look for lane of Rax, perhaps.
They could relocate in, but yeah, I think if you can get a Rax over this, it's fantastic. But now that they've engaged, they've gone in. There's no BKB. They skewer him onto the high ground. He needs to TP. He needs to get out of here. He's going to go for the TP now. Nothing to cancel. Could have used that avalanche, but maybe didn't see the TP. Super. Doing huge damage. Faith as well as MMY.
At the same time, though, they didn't get off their RP. They're going to buy back on Ice Ice Ice. The relocate is goes back for the Wisp as he detethers. Now the Ravage coming through. Where's Super's help? He didn't bring back the Tiny. He leaves Super to die, it looks like. Well, maybe not. He's still standing strong. Finally, no, still not enough damage. Can they even kill him? Soul Assumption, there you go. Now your RP, a bit late, but perhaps Ice 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 can finish the job on his own. Sylar Tanky will be focused down. Black, does he have a Sunstrike? He does. Looking for Yao. Oh, just short. Also barely missing MMY. Oh man.
My gosh.
This forces out a tiny buyback, and
they want to go
a Magnus buyback. That's really costly for Vici.
The tiny buyback will either force LG to buy back themselves, or could be Rax's.
And they know Lycan doesn't have it, so that's the thought here. We can just take a lane of Rax.
Oh, they're going Roche. They're going to Roche and then maybe relocate in. Could be a really nice play.
Are they trying to bite off more than they can chew, though? There's a glyph available on the Dire. Black does not have his Necro 3, so this is not the fastest push, but there's your skewer onto Yao. Yao also doesn't have buyback, so if he gets caught out, it could be a disastrous. They'll buyback now on their bat. Vici able to force that out. Do they lose anyone on the retreat? Black blinking away. Now they hex up that Bat Rider. They're going to come in hard and fast with the meatball onto Angelai. Down he goes. Super hunting for more. This was one more good fight. Could be it for LGD after such a powerful start. They're just crumbling. Super charging in for more. Clubbing. Refresher activated. Ravage used, but it's purely a defensive Ravage. This Tidehunter has just not delivered. Yao unable to do a thing. Now he ends up going down to Black. The Sunstrike in the well finishes him off. No buyback, straight for the throne. Vici Gaming pull a miracle out of the hat, and we're headed to a game number 5.
What a comeback here. This game just looked like LGD were just going to 5-man snowball to victory, but somehow one big team fight goes Vici's way, and they just break the game wide open. The Sylar Lycan has been defeated.
Oh, Jesus. I mean, I don't think Vici expected the early game to go that poorly for them, but they had the answers in the end cards.
Well, we're going to a Game 5 decider. We saw a 2-0 comeback yesterday. Vici Gaming at least put themselves in a position where they could make it happen.
Do you believe in the reverse all kill again?
I mean, at this point, I think I do a little bit. I think Vici Gaming are just the more consistent team overall. LGD have always been a bit hit or miss and haven't quite delivered to the expectations of this roster. And the fact they just threw away a 2-0 lead, that's got to be pretty emotionally crippling for them.
They got to be tilting a little bit after that. Well, one more win. Whoever takes it comes here to the LAN finals.
We've had some exciting finals, apart from Europe, but knock on wood, this one stays exciting. We've got Game 5, so even
Europe
if
Europe was really good until the grand finals. The playoffs overall have been great, and we haven't gotten to see America yet. Should be some fun Smash Dota, perhaps.
Well, guys, Game 5 coming up. We're going to find out which of these two teams will be coming here to LA to join us at the Beyond the Summit studio. Stick around. Myself as well as LD will be joining you for Game 5 of the Summit 2 China Playoffs, brought to you by G2A.com. Don't go anywhere.